What if everything you've ever believed about your intelligence is wrong? What if the reason you felt average, stuck, or even not good enough had nothing to do with your potential, but everything to do with how you were measured? Think about it. For years, you were tested on a narrow set of skills: memorization, math, maybe a bit of writing. And based on that, a silent judgment was formed: smart or not, capable or not. But what if success in life isn't built on just one or two abilities, but a whole spectrum most people never even discover? See, the truth is, most people grow up believing they lack talent or intelligence, when in reality, they were simply being evaluated in areas they were never naturally aligned with. And that misunderstanding, it holds people back for years, sometimes their entire lives. Because when you believe you're not capable, you stop trying. You settle, you shrink your ambitions. But today, that changes. Because once you understand the different types of abilities that exist, and more importantly, which ones you naturally lean toward, you start to see yourself differently. You start to realize that you're not lacking, you're just wired differently. And that difference, that's your advantage. Now, before we dive in, let's get one thing clear. When we talk about abilities, we're not just talking about things you're good at right now. We're talking about two key signals. First, the things you naturally gravitate toward, the things that catch your attention without effort. And second, the things you seem to perform slightly better at than the average person, even without intense practice. And here's the most important part. Natural talent might give you a head start, but it's practice, repetition, and experience that build mastery. So even if something doesn't come naturally to you right away, with enough focus and consistency, you can still become highly skilled at it. Talent opens the door, but effort decides how far you go. Now let's break this down. Some people are deeply connected to sound. They don't just hear music, they feel it. Rhythm, tone, melody. It all clicks effortlessly. These are the individuals who can pick up a tune quickly, recognize patterns in sound, and even recreate or compose music with surprising ease. If you've ever found yourself lost in music, remembering lyrics instantly, or tapping perfectly in sync without thinking, there's a strong chance this is one of your natural strengths. And despite what many people believe, this isn't just a hobby. This ability can evolve into creating music, producing audio for films, building a personal brand around sound, or designing immersive audio experiences. Then there are those who feel most alive in nature. They're drawn to the outdoors, fascinated by animals, plants, and the way ecosystems function. They understand patterns in the natural world, how things grow, interact, and survive. These individuals often have strong instincts when it comes to health, food, environment, and even survival. If you're someone who enjoys being outside, feels connected to living things, or is curious about how the human body works, this ability might be part of your identity. And it can lead you toward paths involving health, environmental work, agriculture, or even medicine. On the other end of the spectrum, you have people who understand their body in a way others don't. Movement isn't just physical, it's precise, controlled, almost artistic. Whether it's sports, dance, or even fine motor skills like crafting or martial arts, these individuals have a unique connection between their mind and muscles. And what's fascinating is that this ability grows massively with repetition. Every movement you practice strengthens neural pathways, making you faster, sharper, and more accurate over time. If you enjoy pushing your physical limits or mastering coordination, this could be a major strength you haven't fully explored yet. Now let's shift to something equally powerful: the ability to understand people. Some individuals can walk into a room and instantly read the energy. They pick up on body language, tone, subtle cues. They know when someone is uncomfortable, excited, or hiding something. Conversations come naturally to them, and they often build connections quickly. This is interpersonal ability. And in a world driven by relationships, this is one of the most valuable skills you can have. It opens doors to careers in communication, leadership, negotiation, content creation, and beyond. But interestingly, there's another side to this. While some people understand others, some have a deep understanding of themselves. They reflect. They analyze their thoughts, their actions, their patterns. They know where they're weak and actively work to improve it. This is interpersonal ability, and it's one of the most underrated strengths out there, because without self-awareness, growth becomes almost impossible. The ability to look inward, adjust, and evolve is what separates people who stay stuck from those who continuously level up. Then we have those who are driven by logic and truth. These individuals naturally question things. They want to understand how systems work, why things happen, and what the most efficient solution is. They rely more on reasoning than emotion, and they're often incredibly good at solving problems, predicting outcomes, and making calculated decisions. If you've ever found yourself breaking things down, analyzing patterns, or searching for the most rational answer, this ability might be one of your strongest assets, and it's one that can elevate you in almost any field you choose. Now, here's something most people overlook. If you're struggling to figure out your passion, it's often not because you don't have one. It's because you haven't explored enough. As kids, we naturally gravitate towards certain things, but over time, we limit ourselves. We stick to what's familiar, and as a result, we never discover what truly excites us. The solution? Exposure. The more you expose yourself to different fields, ideas, and experiences, the more clarity you gain about what pulls you in. Your curiosity is a compass. You just have to follow it. Moving forward, there are individuals who have a powerful command over language. They don't just speak, they influence. They know how to structure words in a way that captures attention, evokes emotion, and delivers impact. Whether it's writing, storytelling, or speaking, they understand the power of communication. If you've ever been drawn to books, speeches, or expressing your thoughts clearly, this is a skill that can take you incredibly far, especially in today's content-driven world. And speaking of the modern world, there's a new kind of ability that has emerged: digital intelligence. Some people just get the internet. They understand trends, algorithms, social media behavior, and what makes content spread. They know how to position ideas, build audiences, and navigate online platforms effectively. And as the world becomes more digital, this ability is becoming one of the most valuable assets you can develop. Whether it's marketing, content creation, or building an online business, the opportunities here are endless. Then there are the visual thinkers. These individuals see the world differently. They notice aesthetics, patterns, colors, and design. They can imagine things in their mind and bring them to life visually. If you've ever been drawn to art, design, or creating something that looks visually appealing, this is a powerful creative ability, and it plays a massive role in industries like architecture, branding, animation, and more. Another incredibly impactful ability is teaching. Some people have a gift for simplifying complexity. They can take difficult ideas and break them down so clearly that anyone can understand them. And beyond that, they genuinely enjoy helping others grow. If you've ever felt satisfaction from explaining something or guiding someone, this ability could be a core part of who you are. And in a world full of information, those who can teach effectively stand out more than ever. And finally, there's a deeper, more introspective ability: spiritual awareness. This is the curiosity about life's biggest questions. Why are we here? What's the purpose? What happens beyond what we can see? People who lean toward this ability often seek meaning, depth, and understanding beyond the surface level. And while it may not always translate directly into a traditional career, it shapes perspective, values, and the way you experience life itself. Now, here's the truth most people miss. You're not limited to just one of these abilities. In fact, most people are a combination of several. The key is to identify which ones resonate with you the most, and then align your life around them. Because when you build your path based on your natural strengths and genuine interests, everything changes. Work doesn't feel forced, progress becomes faster, and most importantly, you actually enjoy the process. So take a moment and reflect. Which of these abilities stood out to you? Which ones felt like they described you perfectly? Start there, explore them deeper, build on them. Because the goal isn't to fit into a system that was never designed for you. The goal is to understand yourself well enough to create your own path. And once you do that, success stops being something you chase and becomes something you naturally move toward. If this opened your eyes even a little, make sure you stick around, because this is just the beginning.